I don't even have it pulled up, so don't.
Brent will do it live.
It's live now. We're literally live.
We're literally live.
Oh, Bearcat Scouts podcast. Back at it again. Didn't know we were going live, but we're live.
Yes, you did.
Times.
I said, can we hold for 1 second? But you know what? Hey, after a win, we got to change things up. Keep the move going. Keep the groove flowing. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in the guys, the crew, the squad. I don't need to push it any further because it's Victory Monday. Aaron Smith, Chad Brendel, Ryan Royer. Gentlemen, how are we?
Good. Good.
Fantastic.
It was, these weekends are always better after wins. There's no I'm mad, tweeted Chad. Although, like the first 3 minutes of the game, there was a lot of I'm mad, tweeted Chad. But after that, everything calmed down. Everybody was happy. The Reds got into playoffs. I made a really good pasta dinner on Saturday.
Okay.
With the girlfriend. Have you seen the viral Boursin cheese pasta recipe?
Yeah, from 2019.
We make it like,
absolutely.
Yeah, we make it's in our rotation.
Yeah, it's very good. We had not made it before, so we were like, "Oh, we'll try that." So we did that.
What did you do? Cherry tomatoes, some
Boursin cheese,
in there.
seasonings, yeah.
Okay.
And then made some chicken with some Danos on it, some Danos original.
Oh.
And yeah, it was delicious. So that was dinner Saturday night, and
Okay.
Satt-era had a fire. Had a fire. That was nice. Haven't had a chance to have a fire in a while, so it's a good weekend. Good weekend. All you can ask for out of a weekend.
Fantastic weekend. Chill Sunday then. I mean, no Bengals, so it's all kind of just the Reds game obviously was going on, and then
I followed the Reds more than anything.
Hat tip to the Marlins as well. This is one of those sports weekends that just like lock the F in. Like Friday night, awesome games. Just an appetizer. Just a freaking smorgasbord of what's going to be coming later on. And then, of course, I mean, hell, the Thursday night football game in the NFL ended up being a pretty exciting one at the end. So,
yeah.
Either way, sports. Ryder Cup. I know Royer was locked in on the Ryder Cup. We didn't get the PJ locked in time, but boy, oh boy, we almost made that comeback. Choo-choo. Ryan wanted me to call him Rory throughout the week, and I was like, why do you want me to call you Rory? And you were like, to flip the script, man. Talk a little ass on me, a little Rory ass. I was like, no. So we did our chants. We did our, Scotty Scheffler. Anyway, Aaron, how are we, man?
Doing all right. Friday I went to see Cat Williams up in Columbus. That was fun.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And then Sunday I got out and mowed the. What's that?
Would you recommend seeing him?
Yeah, I thought he was good. We got floor seats. I don't know that was super necessary. I'd not been to a comedy show before.
Did he heckle you?
No, we were in row Z, so that's like 26 rows back. But I don't know. I would have almost rather had the space up on the sides as opposed to being down on the floor. But I'm not griping. I don't want it to be misconstrued. It was still great. And then Sunday I got out and mowed, and I had my headset on, and the mower took a chunk out of the headset when a tree branch caught my headset and yanked it off. So I had to upgrade.
You mowed over your headset?
A tree branch took it, and it went over where I was mowing, and the rider shot it out.
Wow.
Is this a robotic mower? Could you not like stop real fast?
You're on a rider, like it's moving. What do you mean? You don't.
So what?
He's never mowed a lawn in his life.
No shot. He's
never mowed a lawn in his
life.
Oh,
please, that's good. Hey, that's a good workout. The once a week workout right there, mowing.
I sit and ride. What do you mean it's a good workout? I sit and ride for 3.5
I'm
hours.
saying me. Chad said I've never mowed a lawn. Man, I say, hey, let me mow that.
What
lawn.
was that class you went to, Brent? They taught you how to use a fork and knife or something. They teach you
Cotillion.
how to do the mow.
Cotillion, baby. Look it up.
I thought it was another word.
How many times have you mowed the grass?
Man, in my lifetime, 75 probably.
Well, I'll take the under.
Hey, yeah, y'all underestimate me, man. I've pulled weeds. I've mulched.
You
Man,
smoked weed.
I'm blue collar over here, blue collar gold swagger. So yes, absolutely. Aaron repping that Who Day. All right, let's get a big game. We need Jamar Chase, like 25 points. No one cares about your fantasy team. Brent Royer, how are we, man?
Doing well, man. Haven't felt this happy about Bearcats football in a long time. So that carried me through the weekend right into the Red Legs. Had a nice little dog pile with the boys after the double play, courtesy of the Marlins. So it was a great weekend. A lot of fun, a lot of good sports moments. So I'm feeling pretty good on this Monday.
Can you guys agree that there's like it's almost a euphoric feeling when you have your team, the Bearcats, play in that noon slot, they win the game, and then you've got like a great slate of college football the rest of the way. Like there is just
get used to it. That's all we got is the noon slot.
Yeah, noon game. But seriously, there's no greater feeling than that. You know what another great feeling is? Having a car that, that check engine light doesn't pop on, that change oil soon light doesn't flash, the speedometer's all fixed up. You know what's nice? Going to Danco Transmission Out of Care. My boy Danco Joe. I bet he's loving that offensive line. He was on to something during the offseason, Chad, asking you about that O-line so much. He must have knew something was in the water. Because boy, oh boy, they won Big 12 offensive line of the year, of the week yet again. Two-time winners in only 5 weeks? That's pretty damn good. So
only played 4 games.
Only played 4 games, yeah. 2 out of 4 for us. But yeah, Danco Transmission Out of Care. Get $10 off on next oil change, 10% off your next fixing. Danco Joe will hook it up. Tell him Royer sent you. Tell him Aaron Smith sent you. Tell him Chatty B sent you. Tell him who else? Let's see here. How about Noah Jennings? Tell him Noah Jennings sent you. Gosh, Noah Jennings will go down in history. But yeah, Danco Transmission and Out of Care. Boy, oh boy, guys, it was a fun game. One of those throwback Big 12, high scoring, back and forth. Whoever has the ball last might win type performances. 37-34 final. The Bearcats do it. This new season, if you will, the Big 12, non-conference is out of the way. Big 12 season, all of the preseason hopes and dreams that you have, the goals for the end of the year are still intact. The Bearcats did it, man. This is a scenario in the past where we've seen kind of coming up on the losing end of these coin flip games that came up on the winning end this time. Brendan Sorsby, absolute dog. You could just see in that post-game interview, Aaron mentioned it a little bit with Victor Cruz, Champ Bailey, and Takeo Spikes. He has some swagger, big-time swagger. So shouts to Brendan Sorsby. Shouts to the offense. Defense, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it all. But as we always do, it is a quick ring around the rosy and just initial thoughts. Obviously, Chad and Aaron a couple of days removed from the aftermath. But Ryan, dish it down to you. You texted the group right after the win. And boy, oh boy, I was in that same little euphoric hit of dopamine, hit of everything flowing through the veins. But what do you have to say a couple days now that big win on the road at Kansas?
Yeah, I text you guys. This team just feels different, and it felt different that week one, but we weren't able to get over the hump. And then there's multiple times in the closing half of that fourth quarter, I was just like, man, I just feel like we're gonna find a way to lose this game like we've done in years prior. And just seeing like minute and a half left, didn't really know what to expect. Like all game we were having success on offense, but it's like are our players going to be able to step up and make the plays to go out there and win this game for us? And they did. And I don't know. It's just like I was doubting them. Man. I was doubting them before the game. I thought it was going to be a tough game. I was doubting them right into the closing seconds, even after that penalty on the receiver out of bounds, or even on that 4th and 10. Yeah. Yeah, man. They faced every bit of adversity in that game, and they were able to come out with a win in a tough environment against a pretty solid Kansas team, the 6th-year quarterback. I was impressed, and I think it was a perfect example of the growth of this team. You drop game 1, you got two kind of like cakewalks, so to say, and you're next to opponents off a bye. We didn't really know what to expect out of these guys going into Kansas at a 11 o'clock kickoff, and they took every punch. They punched right back, and they looked like a better team. They've improved. I feel like they've improved each week, and it was a lot more of a test on the with Kansas defense, and obviously comparison to the Demons when we were, letting the ball fly in the air all over the place. So Sorsby looks like what we were expecting of him coming into this season, being able to carry us on his back, and the run game looked well. The O-line dominated the point of attack, and yeah, man, I was just super pleased, and really just the excitement has came back. So huge shout out to the boys getting the comeback dub, even though we were ahead for most of the first half, and they were able to come back and answer. So I'm excited where this ship can go. I mean, all the pieces are there. Still some things to touch up on in the back end of defense. That does concern me a lot.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Chad, I was going to pass to Aaron, but Aaron's off camera because Aaron's probably he's getting pumped up over there. He wants to see the beginning of this first Bengals drive. But he's back. He's back. Aaron, let's hear it. Oh, Chad, you're up next.
It's fine. Go ahead. No, it's fine. Go ahead. No, it's fine.
You're the victory cigar, man. You're the John Meeker. Let's put you in, baby. Let's raise the crowd up. But Aaron, thoughts? 2 days removed, the aftermath in the rear view, the BBP current. What are your feelings? 37-34.
The offense was damn near perfect, despite having 4 touchdowns called back. The defense has to pick it up. You cannot let 600 yards of offense go regularly, and now against Nebraska you were at 400, and against Bowling Green 400, and now here you are against Kansas at 600. So against anybody not Northwestern State, you're giving up a lot of yardage. And I know they keep saying bend not break, but at some point you've got to make stops. I think there were only 2 3-and-outs in this game for Kansas. And Kansas pretty much got to do defensive or offensively. Kansas got to do what they wanted to do most of the time.
Defense got off the field after one play twice.
Yeah, good way to put it. That's the other thing. We'll talk about that too. Where like people are talking about the time of possession and how it was so much in Cincinnati's favor. That first game. Well, you know what? When you only give up a couple drives that were what? One was 10 seconds and the other one was 30 seconds, but it was two long touchdowns. I mean, sure. I think I'm just being funny, but yeah, no. That'll flip the time of possession a little bit. But yeah, Chad, I like what Marcus is saying. The fresh air in the program type of thing. I completely agree. Is that a couple days removed? That was kind of interested to hear you on the BCJ pod. Obviously, kind of taking a little dose of the Kool-Aid. I think Nico did something to us Monday where it kind of instead of having his kind of coach speak, he kind of reiterated the fact that the culture is still built. Everyone's still hyped. You kind of heard him talk about Sorsby talking to the team a lot. All these players kind of being still that player-led program. Is this something, this win, a fresh air in the program type of win? Obviously, you got to kind of follow it up with another one this Saturday. But still, it seems like a huge, huge win in the Satterfield era up to this point.
It's a step in the right direction. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
But we're heading towards there. Now they gotta keep going. Like they can't slide down the mountain when it rains a little bit, but it's a step in the right direction. I didn't talk about I was mad at myself Saturday shortly after the show ended because I forgot to talk about one of my biggest talking points of that game.
Okay.
Second drive, down 7-0. You go 3 and out. And Scott Satterfield says, no. I know we're at our own 34-yard line. I know if we don't get it, we are basically giving Kansas points because they've got a good kicker. If they're at the 34-yard line, they're going to get points. We are at risk of going down 2 scores. And Scott Satterfield said, offense stay on the field. And they get the 4th and 1. And that really kickstarted things for that offense. And I think that was a shot of confidence from the head coach.
Yep.
That said, we're going to need the offense to win us this game today.
Yeah.
We are going to need you to be great to win us this game. 4th and 1, our own territory, early in the first quarter. Stay out there. You guys got this. And I think that was a critical decision. And then they go for it again. And they were kind of in that no man's land when they did the second 4th down attempt. But you already set the tone. If we're going for it on 4th and 1 at our own 34, we're certainly doing it in their territory. They go for it again. They get it. And then they march down and they get the touchdown. I thought that was a very important moment in that game of Scott Satterfield saying, we're here to win this thing. We're not here to, they caught McDoom looking in the backfield. He made a bad play and they made a play over the top. The people roasting McDoom, get a life. The guy made one bad play. Like, get a life. The guy's been good so far. And he's adjusting up a level to much better receivers than he's ever covered before in his life. But that play, it was exactly what we talked about. Eye discipline. He got caught peeking. And you can see his eyes in the backfield on that play fake. When you got the fastest dude on the field next to you, you can't just let him run by your ear hole for a 93-yard touchdown. Like, that almost set up perfectly, right? Cincinnati gets a first down. They don't get a drive, but they give Max Fletcher some room. He did Max Fletcher things, pinned him at the 7-yard line.
Yep.
And then one damn play.
Yeah.
But overall, just a great response over and over and over again from this team. They took a lot of gut punches, be it Kansas consistently driving on offense, be it the penalties, bringing back touchdowns. There was a lot of opportunities for those dudes to pack it in and say, today's not our day. And they didn't do it. And kudos to them, because that was easily, I think, the best win of the Scott Satterfield era. Easily.
Yeah. And you mentioned Nico and how he was talking last week, and I think he hit the nail right on the head. Just kind of like that. The culture wasn't there year 1. It wasn't there year 2. But I think this was a perfect indication of that the culture is there right now. But the culture is going to go out and win you games. It's your players, and I think Sorsby willed us through that game with his. He had solid running, but his able to find guys, hit them on the money, and doing it in crunch time too. But I mean, if you just think about, like, without that fumble forced on the 1 yard line, I mean, that I know the defense, they didn't have their best game, but being able to get that takeaway right there, I mean, that alone, without that play, I think we're looking at it like, man, how did our offense play exactly how we wanted to play, and we still end up walking away in the loss column yet again. And then we're sitting here wondering, like, man, like, what do we like? Will we ever figure it out? But I think it's just we finally found a way to make a big turnover on defense when our back was against the wall all game. We finally found a way to go out and win a football game in a game where, when you have the ball at the minute and a half, one timeout, you have to go the length of the field and score a touchdown. That's not really good odds you're going to be able to do that. But I think defense stepping up, making a big turnover, indicator of the culture. Offense, letting their nuts hang all game long on fourth down in crunch time. It just shows that, the guys believe there is a culture built and we got to keep going. And the defense has to make it so we don't need hero ball on offense to go out and get a win.
Yeah, I completely agree with all. The main thing for me is it boils down. We talk about, the quarterback play and Sorsby, and we keep mentioning him, but I mean, he's got it. He's got that thing to him where it just you feel confident when you. A lot of times I think about when a quarterback releases the ball, am I confident where it's going? In this game, I was very confident each time Sorsby threw the ball. I think he put maybe one throw in harm's way the entire game. And luckily did not get intercepted. But I feel like that was the only errant throw he had all game. It's crazy to look at his season stats, and it's
almost
so funny
cost him the game.
It did. Yes,
he borderline sailed that fourth down ball too. Great catch.
Oh, it was
Jennings,
brilliant catch.
Yeah, I feel like he had to put that like that way, right? I mean, that was a kind of tough throw, but
there was pressure in his face. Like he had to get it up over the top of him to get that thing completed. But I mean,
unbelievable.
Great catch.
But yeah, so Sorsby, the whole superlative thing we had, and we're going to continue to mention this because it's after this one game, it's like you can bring up all the superlatives we talked about. I mean, shoot, if they beat Iowa State this upcoming week, we might be talking top 25 territory. So it's all these different things are starting to come together after just one big win. But it's crazy to look at Sorsby. Obviously, the Nebraska game is very weird looking back at it. But if you just take the last three games, and sure, it was against Bowling Green and Northwestern State, whatever, and then you do face a team in Kansas. He's averaging 324 passing yards in those three games. That would put him in the country. Obviously, we're taking out a huge outlier of that dud against Nebraska with only 69 yards, but that would put him third in the nation in passing yards per game. I don't know if he'll be able to keep it up. I think with the weapons that he has on the outside, and didn't it just seem like in this game the effort to go downfield was more there? I feel like a lot of the passes were downfield, and Sorsby took the time to go downfield and was going through his progressions. I don't know if that week off was just even more just pushing forwards what happened against Bowling Green, Northwestern State. Just the confidence was building, but would put him second. But then I looked a little bit further into it. Nebraska. Did you know Nebraska's defense? Sure, they've only played 4 games as well. They played Cincinnati, Akron, Houston Christian, and then Michigan. Did you know Nebraska is number 1 in the country in defensive passing yards allowed?
Yeah,
by like pretty wide margin. So maybe that is something to do with it.
No, I was just going to say, I looked at it after the game. It was like, I mean, Michigan beat them. They scored 30 on them. And I'm thinking, I was like, I didn't watch that game. I didn't go back and look at it until I'm like, all right, well, we just played a Big 12 secondary, and Sorsby just went nuts. And he's done well passing the ball now 3 weeks in a row. So I'm like, all right, let's check the box score. 100 passing yards from Michigan and then 300 rushing yards. Yep. So you sit back and look at that Nebraska game. You're like, all right, well, you got
probably should have ran
a
lot more.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's like we were saying that shit after the game, and then you have Sorsby. He's got all these new weapons, but you don't really know like timing and what you're really going to get until you go snap the ball week 1. And as much as you want, as many reps as they get in fall camp, in spring ball. Like, you can't replicate what it's like in a game. And so then you can kind of look at like, all right, Nebraska's secondary might be one at the end of the year, one of, if not the best in the country, if they keep playing as well as they are. So I think after that game, we're like, I mean, we knew Nebraska is good, but are they that good that we throw the ball for under 70 yards? And they seem to have a pattern here. So I think now Sorsby's comfortable. Cyrus Allen's like catapulting himself into a legitimate route runner. Get him the ball when you need a first down or when you need a big play. So I think things are just starting to come together, and it's easy to press the panic button week one and just to see, how close we were to winning that game, going against probably the best secondary we're going to play all year. So this was a big boost of encouragement, and especially after seeing Nebraska continue to play the way they are playing in the secondary. So it's good to see that after Kansas that it wasn't just, hey, Sorsby's only good against, lower level programs. So I think the confidence and the promise is there.
Do you want to know another crazy part of it all is that obviously you see Sorsby throw the ball, 42 times in this game, I believe it was, 43 times in this game. We still ran the ball 37 times. There were still 37 rush attempts. Obviously, a high-scoring game, a lot more plays are being run. Time possession, obviously, on your side, you're gonna have more sustained drives. But is this something where you it didn't feel like it was super balanced like that? I don't know. It felt like Sorsby was kind of just slicing and dicing, and then the run was kind of added on top of it. Do you kind of see it as a game-to-game basis, or is this kind of where it's like, let Sorsby take it, and then you have a couple pops by Pryor, then Tawi's just kind of able to kind of control the ground game a little bit as well?
I mean, I like what they're doing. The balance attack is great, and I think that they should always approach it, especially at the beginning of the game in that first quarter. Like, don't go heavy on either or. Kind of see what you're getting out of that, out of the defense, especially once you get out of the first 15 plays. The call sheet that you have set up before the game, and then take what you can get and take what the defense is giving you. If you feel like you got matchups, especially the way Cyrus Allen's playing, like throw him the ball. Put him in the slot, put him out there, let him run those quick breaking in and out routes and do that all game. Because I think that's going to be there a lot this season. But I don't want as well as Sorsby is throwing the ball. I think the run game is still absolutely so critical. And they had the offensive line, especially they played so well in the run game. So I don't think we should just say, hey, Sorsby's the man. Let's just freaking go 70-30 pass to run split. But I think it's in a great state right now. Keep running the ball, especially when you have a lead and they're not stopping it. Keep running it over and over again.
And Ryan, a big thing too, like when you put what they put on tape against Kansas, Iowa State has to react. Iowa State has to say, all right, we've got to limit this passing attack. And now maybe the run game does open up a little bit more. Like, having the ability to be balanced is more than just an in-game thing. It's a game-to-game thing because coaches are reactionary. Coaches are going to see Brendan Sorsby throwing for 400 yards a game here recently, 350, 400 yards a game here recently. And they're going to say, we have got to shut down Cincinnati via the air. And then maybe that opens up a lighter box. Maybe that gives you an opportunity for Tawi Walker to have one of those 150, 170-yard games against a really good secondary. So, I think people look at it as just like a game-to-game thing too often where how scouting goes, man. You're a prisoner of the moment a lot of times, and teams are going to look at that and say, we have got to get a handle on Sorsby, and that does potentially allow you some space in the running game.
Yeah, I mean, the run game it's a lot of it, it's an attitude thing. It's especially first, second down if you're on schedule, 1st and 10, 2nd and 7 to 5. The defense, unless the defense is just dialing up like a 6-man pressure, a run stopping pressure, like it's just our guys against their guys, and do your job. the defense is going to try to fit their gaps and block the feet. And it's our job to, have our run style, get up in people's shit, run the ball downhill with Tawi Walker. So the deep, there's going to be so many moments in the game where we're going to call a run, and it's not going to be about scheme. It's going to be about our guys versus their guys. How are we able to move the line of scrimmage? How are we going to be able to fall forward with runs and staying on schedule and not making mistakes, not missing blocks, no holding, none of that stuff. So they're going to adjust and they're going to be ready for it. But it's also, we have to keep playing at the level with the physicality and the mentality that we were playing at this Saturday and look to dominate the line of scrimmage.
I have a question, Ryan. Do you think they let Tawi Walker score that last touchdown?
I don't know. I was looking at the replay. So. In the replay at the end zone,
it looked like they got blown off the ball. It did not look like they were just letting it happen.
I mean,
it looked like they got dominated.
Normally, in the linebackers, they were flowing to the ball. So, but I mean, in my head, I'm thinking, man, we could say fuck you and just bet on third down and fourth down from the 1, and we would have ran out the clock.
There just wasn't that much time. You know what I mean? Maybe you let them score with a minute left, but there was 39 seconds left.
You're up by 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? A field goal does not beat you. They have to get in the end zone.
Yeah.
Now, granted, maybe the Kansas coaches are just in the box going, we haven't stopped them all day.
Yeah.
What makes us think we're going to stop them now? We want to give our quarterback a chance to get in field goal range and get this thing to overtime. But if I'm up 4 in that situation, my defensive coordinator says, let them score. That guy might not be my defensive coordinator for long. Man up, get a stop, and win the game.
Cincinnati versus Tulsa,
it's not impossible.
Let's go.
Right.
Look across the country. How many times? I mean, I was watching that Ohio State Washington game, and Washington just stuffed them up on 4th and 1. It's not impossible to do, and you definitely should. It's either we stop them here and we win. You can't just let them in under the guise of we're guaranteed to get 50 yards to put us in a 50-yard field goal range to tie it. I wouldn't call that if I was the D coordinator of Kansas, and I didn't really feel like they just laid down the sword unless they're just really good actors, and we didn't give any indication to them that we were gonna Sorsby were gonna take the snap, just fall down.
And our offensive line looks
that's normal. You would be able to see the communication, especially. Yeah. Okay. The D line wouldn't be showing strain, because then if they really wanted to let us in, the last thing you'd want on their end is we're straining, or I'm trying to get move around in this block, make it look like I'm fighting back, and then you trip and you fall into the running back and stop them. So I didn't think that either, but it is kind of a scenario where they could have done it. But that doesn't seem likely. I don't think that's the right call on their end. Yeah.
And if it was the call,
what made you bring it up? Was that
Dan Horde said he thought that they let him score, and
it's kind of circulating out there.
Yeah, I maybe they did. I don't know for sure, but I do know is if my defensive coordinator did that, I would be livid with my defensive coordinator. Livid with my defensive coordinator.
To me, that's just with the time on the clock. That sounds like a give up move.
Yeah.
There's 32 seconds left. That's not enough time. I know you've hit a couple of big hitters, but it's going to be prevent defense. They're going to be completely take away those big hitters. What is your kicker? Maybe you trust them from 60 in. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think it was. But and also, like Royer said, it was blocked up well, and it looked like the D line and the linebackers were trying to stop it. It wasn't like they just kind of just olayed and just moved out of the way. But either way, let's talk about that O-line real fast. Bunch of bullies out there, bunch of freaking bullies. I counted 97 pass attempts before the first sack of the season. That doesn't include dropbacks because obviously Sorsby has had some scrambles throughout the year as well. But 97 pass attempts before the first sack. They were the last team in the country to give up a sack, and they still are tied for first in the country with only 1 sack allowed with Oregon and Navy. One of those teams might be the best team in the country, and the other team doesn't really throw the ball much. So see you later, Royer. I could see he was drifting. He was frozen, I believe. But that offensive line, man, great job. Obviously, Kansas was getting
They had a tough day.
Yeah, Kansas was getting some pressures on Sorsby. DeAndre Buford, man, he was struggling pretty mightily. But it was a scenario where they made the plays when they needed to. And when they got inside of the 5-yard line, it was like walk-ins to the end zone. Other than that one that was a hold.
It's the first time since last November Kansas didn't have at least 2 sacks in the game. A game.
Wow.
That is a defense that gets after the quarterback. And if you watch, there's a stunt or a game on almost every snap.
It's driving me nuts.
Almost every snap. Like they make things and delayed blitzes, like waiting 2 beats to where the offensive lineman picks up what he's supposed to be doing, and then a linebacker comes screaming at him.
Bengali Kamara.
They are a really difficult defense to defend up front because you have to be, it's kind of like their offense. Like your eye discipline, you have to be on it every snap because they're going to try to confuse you every snap. And I love it.
Yeah, they had athletes too at the D-line. Those guys moved well.
Yeah.
I love it because that's not a team that's ever, like, talent-wise, Kansas just isn't in a position where they're ever really going to out-talent you. So they scheme up to accentuate the talent that they have. They go get quick, twitchy guys on the edge.
Outwit you.
They just try to scheme it up to make it really difficult to defend them on either side, defend them when they're on offense and to block them when they're on defense. And I didn't walk away thinking the O-line dominated, but I walked away thinking they did exactly what they needed to do against a defense that makes things as difficult as Kansas does in their front seven. You can pick on their back end, and they did. And Sorsby's really good at feeling the pocket, understanding where the pressure is coming from, understanding where to move to get the ball out and throw it away. He did that 4 or 5 times where just made the smart play, got it out of bounds. Although on that last drive, he threw one away that they almost picked off on the sideline.
Yeah.
Tip drill.
Oh my God.
No, not the tip drill. Before that, he threw one out of bounds that the Kansas guy caught and
out of
almost
bounds.
got the toe tip.
Well, if he was smart, he would have thrown it back, like caught it and then thrown it back.
He landed pretty quick right after he caught it. I don't think he really had time to. I think he was trying to get the toe in, and his momentum carried him. Sorsby's got to get that thing out of bounds, not like just out of bounds, way out of bounds.
Right.
Well, you
might have thought he was on the sideline.
Yeah.
You bring up the offensive line though, and not dominating. I think that they did dominate on that power play that they ran for. Well, I'm just saying. I think they need to run that power play damn near every time you're on the goal line. I don't know that anyone could stop it with this offensive line.
Sorsby, we got to get those rushing TDs up, man. Those Heisman odds there.
Well, I don't think that's an RPO. I think that's a give it to
that
Tawi.
is a give it to Tawi, and it's going to be a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's not to disparage the offensive line because I thought they handled Kansas great.
Yeah.
But that is a really difficult defense to defend or to block up. And they did what they had to do.
Yeah.
Kansas got some wins, but they weren't significant wins. They were a little bit of pressure here, a little bit of pressure there. They did get the 1 sack, but it didn't derail Cincinnati. So that's an offensive line winning when they need to win. And sometimes it'd be like that. So sometimes you're not just going to maul everybody. Sometimes you've got to play the finesse game and figure out, okay, get this guy out wide or push this guy this way so Sorsby can have an escape route. And I thought they mentally won it more than just being like physically dominant, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
You mentioned his pocket presence, and I was like, that last drive, the way they were like slicing up those games, and they were only sending 3 or 4 guys, and we had our running back in there blocking. So it's 6 on 4, and they were still like finding ways to collapse that pocket. And I was like, oh my God, we're gonna let up our second sack at the worst possible time ever. But I think the way you mentioned his pocket presence, Sorsby's a great athlete, and having that athleticism back there, I think it saved us like several times on that last drive because, like you said, they got some quick dudes running some good stunts, and they were able to just create pressure in the pocket just when they were outnumbered by at least 2 every single rush, but they were still finding a way. So I agree, Chad. The offensive line, they bent a little bit, but they didn't break. They were following some of the defensive mindset.
Ryan, you bring up the pocket presence, and I want to bring up a point that I made on after the game on the Aftermath, and it was almost like they rediscovered the intermediate game, like that we're allowed to pass to the intermediate routes. But I think when you bring up the pocket presence, he had time to read his checkdowns. Like he was back there, and it was almost as if he realized that he didn't have to take off and run immediately, albeit he did have 13 rushes. But I don't know what you would credit the rediscovery of the intermediate game to exactly, or maybe a culmination of things.
That's also time related, Aaron, because it takes a while to develop those crossing routes, those drag routes, the stuff over the middle. That takes a little bit of time to develop. Like that's not a quick hitter per se. You're not hitting a slant or a curl. Like you got to wait for the guy to, and he threw. There were that back angle. I'm sure you guys noticed it too. He led guys beautifully, like getting the ball out and throwing it 7 yards ahead of a guy and letting the guy run to it. He hasn't had time to do that.
It was almost like he progressed into that as the game went on, because the first quarter he was throwing behind guys.
A little bit, yeah. But that's time.
And I think it has something to do with what I mentioned earlier.
Good.
I think Sorsby, game 4, he's going to have more comfort. His receivers have more comfort. I think the offensive play calling, realizing what they have in a guy like Cyrus Allen, who they can count on. Hey, if we give this guy time to get up 10 yards, and then he's going to be able to break in or out. He's going to be able to get open. He's dynamic. He's quick. He's a really good route runner. And knowing what our strengths are developing into, letting our quarterback get comfortable in his strengths and having the offensive line continue to play well, give him a pocket, give him an ability to kind of pull out right or left a little bit, give that so that they don't have to like straight up block people like and be engaged for 4 seconds, being able to move the pocket slightly, throw on the run. I think combining all of those things, and it's just overall comfort, everyone just getting more in tune with each other.
Yeah. Let's one last thing about offense, because we got to get to defense, or else, unless you guys are going to do a 3-hour show tonight. I mean,
I don't.
Okay.
Nope.
I don't.
So real fast, obviously, prior, just an awesome drive by him personally at the end of the first half. Obviously, should have gotten an additional 15 yards with the face mask. That was not called. We can touch on that later. But and also Tawi, just great job being a bulldozer. But I want to just take a look real fast at this final drive, as we alluded to a couple times. Obviously, first couple of passes are going to Cyrus Allen. Cyrus Allen 6 yards, and then another one, Cyrus Allen 4 yards, and then it continues to go. First, he looked at it as Isaiah Johnson. That was the one where obviously illegal touching. But then he found Jeff Caldwell. It was incomplete, but he was looking at him. Then he hit Noah Jennings on that 4th and 10. Then he hit Caleb Goody. Then he hit Gavin Grover. So he attempted passes in that final drive to Cyrus Allen, to Isaiah Johnson, to Jeff Caldwell, to Noah Jennings, to Caleb Goody, to Gavin Grover. I mean, it's pretty crazy when you break it down like that, the amount of weapons that are starting to arise. And Chad, I'll give the hat tip to you, man. It was a lot of in the practice reports from fall camp, even back in spring, where these receivers are starting to get the mix, and then you added in Isaiah Johnson, Noah Jennings. They get into the mix. They're starting to flash throughout camp. Is this kind of you're seeing this might be one of the main differences from last year to this year, is the fact that not only does Sorsby have the time in the pocket, but the weapons are starting to become pretty damn apparent, that there are numerous players that Sorsby has confidence to look to, especially on the final game-winning drive.
Yeah, I mean, that's just going to continue to develop, you hope, as the season goes along, and he gets more and more comfortable with who can do what, who's comfortable with what, who likes running what routes, who's going to be open, like, what guys are good against man, what guys are better against zone. That stuff is going to continue to develop. But there's talent. There's guys that can make plays, and that's what we continued to see throughout camp. It wasn't just Cyrus Allen and Jeff Caldwell and Joe Royer, and then a bunch of question marks.
Yep.
Caleb Goody had days every day. Isaiah Johnson had days. Noah Jennings had days where I mean, Noah Jennings had one day where I'm like, he's the best player on the team. Right. One of his days at higher ground. It felt like he was running into the end zone. Like every time he took a route, he was making a catch for a touchdown. And
after that 4th and 10 catch, I'm going to say he's the best player on the team. There you go.
But that's one of the, I don't get credit for that. All I did was talk about what I saw.
Right.
I'm not a prophet in that regard.
Yeah.
That is those guys consistently. And what do we talk about when we cover camp? It's not having one good day, right? Anybody can have one good day. It's having 4 good days out of 5. It's consistently stacking quality days. It's consistently time over time that you're out there showing that you're a guy that's going to be reliable. You're going to run good routes. You're going to get open. You're going to catch the ball when the quarterback puts it in your hands. And these guys did that consistently. And you're starting to see that show up, on Saturday. So Royer's on the struggle bus today.
He's struggling with internet connection. You can just tell with that lag where he's talking and then you say one thing and then it pauses and you're like, no, you keep going. We're just conversating. But yeah, I mean it's awesome to see, and they have the look of like Noah Jennings looks like a wide receiver 1 build wise. You know what I mean? He's got that look to him. And I mean the way that Isaiah was kind of that one catch and run was awesome that he had in the first half. But I'm excited to see as they evolve. Obviously, Joe Royer. I hope he's going to be back this upcoming week. I obviously we don't really know, but those injury reports are awesome to come out. But either way, good to have a lot of weapons, especially when you have one like Cyrus Allen, Royer, that can get open easily.
Royer changes a lot, though.
Yes, he does.
Because teams have been bracketing him.
Yep.
And when you dedicate 2 guys to him, now you're going to be able to play that game where there's going to be guys open because they're trying to take away Royer. And then defenses have to make a decision. Are we going to keep bracketing Royer so he doesn't hurt us and letting these other guys get open? Or are we going to give Royer single coverage and give Sorsby an opportunity to start using him more? Hopefully he's back out there because he is even though he hasn't gotten a ton of catches yet, that's coming because the other guys are making the defense pay for paying extra attention to him. So hopefully they're going to need him against Iowa State. That's a big boy defense. The Kansas defense is not a big boy defense. They got some players, but as a unit, they really struggled on Saturday. So going to need Royer back, hopefully.
I think Cyrus Allen and Joe Royer are very good complements of each other because their two styles, there's decisions that have to be made between linebacker, safety, and corner.
Mm-hmm.
How are we gonna there's a triangle on the defense that is going to be responsible for those two. So if I'm Satterfield, I get them on the same side of the ball as much as possible so that they have to make decisions on who we're going to put our attention to. And who knows, maybe we know Jeff Caldwell is the type of player that's going to get better every week. Yeah. And we knew Joe Royer's good. Defenses are going to pay attention to him. As Cyrus Allen keeps emerging, if Jeff Caldwell can keep improving, getting up to speed, so to say, with the Big 12 style, game speed, getting up to speed with his body and his athleticism, like Nico was mentioning, he can be another weapon out there that's going to make the defense have to think even more. So these are all good momentum when it comes to our passing game and the different weapons that we have.
Gavin Grover, God love him. He saw nothing but green in front of him, and he decided to start protecting that ball with two hands from 7 yards out. I think if he just runs normal, he's probably walking into the end zone. But hey, good for him. Good for him. Hey, high and tight, man. High and tight. He learned from that Royer fumble against Miami last year. So
he also scored.
You know what? Run the review back, man. Right.
Why didn't he didn't score? He certainly wasn't at the 1.5, 2 yard line like they placed the ball. He's at the 1 inch line.
I know. Yeah. Officiating was awesome in that game on Saturday. Anyway, we got to move on. Defense. You know what? Hey, no Dante Corleone. Tough. We're talking about one of the best players in the country on the defensive side out in this game with an injury. Jake Golday is an absolute stud. Love everything that Jake Golday brings. Obviously, we've sung his praises over and over again here. I guess it wasn't necessarily a peak punch. That's what Antoine Peak was trying to say. That
it wasn't, but it was.
Right. We're gonna still say it was because
I'm gonna call it the peak punch, even if it's not
right.
The peak punch.
Like you did it, bro. It's you. You are peak punch. Obviously, probably the play of the game. If you boil things down between that and Noah Jennings catch. Outside of that, I really hope Royer gets his internet changed or fixed because I just want to do the floor is your guys's and kind of see, is it just where you ran into a player like Jalen Daniels who was kind of locked in? You go back and you rewatch the game. And a lot of times we were kind of right there for a sack. Daniels gets out of it and kind of is able to look downfield and find someone 30 yards.
Golday gets shoved to the ground in the back.
Yeah.
And then he runs for 20 yards.
Yeah, exactly. It just seemed like a scenario where, you can have great defense. You can do this and that. It's not like Kansas was dinking and ducking the entire time. Dinking and dunking the entire time like, Bowling Green did. Like Nebraska.
They took what UC gave them.
They did, right? They hit a lot of deep ones too, but I kind of cater that to their ability to kind of be, trick you in a way. Play action fakes. You're biting eyes in the backfield. Royer, you're back. We're talking defense. Royer, welcome back here on the BBP. Thanks for calling in, but.
Technical difficulties, pardon me.
No, you're good. Kind of gonna do the floor is yours. What you saw type thing, or defensively, is it a scenario where sometimes you have a player like Jalen Daniels who is dynamic, who can scramble around in the backfield, who can extend plays, who can then use his legs or pass downfield and make plays that not a lot of other quarterbacks in the country could probably make? Or is it kind of a pretty alarming scenario to give up this many passing yards? Because let's say it real fast. I'm going to do a quick trivia time for you guys. Aaron, I think you're going to know the answer to this one. So Jalen Daniels threw for, 445 yards in this game?
Yes.
Yes. When was the last time the Bearcats allowed a quarterback to throw for 445 yards or more?
What's his name from ECU?
Hint, Ryan Royer was on the team.
Holton Ahlers?
Holton Ahlers. I'm going with Holton Ahlers. Am I correct?
You are correct. Ding, ding, ding,
Yes.
ding, ding. Fantastic job. He threw for 535 yards. You know what, though? There was one massive turnover in that game, if you guys can remember. That was a pick six by one young freshman, Sauce Gardner. By then, his name was kind of Sauce, was still a little bit of a mod. Kind of similar to this game, there was one big turnover that kind of forced things in UC's way. But Royer, defensively, what you're seeing as far as just, I mean, obviously, pretty much a career day for Jalen Daniels through the air, and pretty damn good with his legs as well.
Yeah. What was it? He was averaging like 50 yards a pass or something. Some crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you take away the first play of the game, then the other deep ball in the second half. It is concern. My concern is coming from a little bit of it's the way it's hard to go from bend don't break and soft cushion coverage, and then all of a sudden that we want to run a little bit more of a man scheme at the safety position. But these guys, their alignment is deep, because you can't just come up if you're going to run bend don't break zone coverage 3-3-5, and then you want to throw man wrinkles in there, or if you want to like tighten up our coverage in some way, you can't just come down and go up like a 6 or 7 yard man safety position. Your safeties are sitting like 11 yards deep, but in man. So you're having like the most athletic people on the field, the wide receiver, run a vertical press at you. And then they're able to just break off break off on an out route right on the sideline for an easy 15-yard pitch and catch, or you're able to, put them kind of in an island where they can run a post or a corner option on them. So it's concerning me, because when I was talking about the previous weeks where, hey, maybe we're not running man, or maybe our man cushion is so significant because that isn't our player's strong suit. And the reason our play calls and our yardage average was the way it was is because, there's kind of an understanding of our personnel in their ability to cover man on man. And I think you saw essentially every single time that we were in man that we were getting beat significantly. Or you could kind of throw in those 2-3 plays with that tight end that's a hard ass play to cover with that motion across, and then tight end squeaks out. It's tough, but you're still supposed to recognize pass and be able to be in position to make a play. And that happened, that play, and then the first play of the game with the eye discipline as well. But it is not having Dante hurts, obviously, especially in the run game. It does hurt in the pass rush game too. But I would much rather us play the more the more soft coverage zone than try to do what we were doing, like kind of like this adjustment. Oh, we got to get a little bit more aggressive in our man-on-man coverage, because I don't know.
I don't think it's built to be a man defense.
Yeah, it's not, because I don't think our personnel is not that capable. I think you kind of saw it a lot in that game. I mean, their receivers were able to get open at will at all times, essentially, that we were put in like a man-on-man scenario. That concerns me moving forward, because if they can't do it, we get a lot more predictable, and college coaches are really smart, and they're going to figure out ways to beat certain zone drops. So there's got to be some adjustments made, because you, as good as Sorsby is and the offense is in a groove, like, you're not going to get performances like that week in and week out. So thank God we won, because found a way to win. Defense made an incredible turnover at the 1 yard line. Antoine Peak doing Antoine Peak things. So,
yeah, it's a scenario as well where obviously you can't do the outlier thing, but I mean, in the 4 games that the Bearcats have played this year, they allowed 243 passing yards to Nebraska, 274 to Bowling Green, 445 to Kansas, and then only 34 passing yards to Northwestern State. So they really buckled down in that one. If you just take those 3 games, though, throw out Northwestern State, obviously you can't do that. But, they're giving up 320 passing yards a game, which would be second to last in all of college football. It's obviously the 445 is going to skew the number the other way as well. But I don't know. The bend but don't break. Look, bend but also break. I made that joke off air, but they were the deep passes were a bit of the concern in this one. Obviously, the one was McDoom looked in the backfield. You got to fault him. Not everyone's perfect, but the fastest guy on Kansas's team ran right by him, and then the other one, kind of like Taden Barnes, looks like he thought he was going to be able to get the interception because ball.
He reacted to a bad throw by Daniels.
Yeah.
But even still, do you got to play the man on that one, or are you telling the guy to play the ball too? I feel like you have to go
to the ball through your man. That's how I would put it.
Because he went straight for the ball, and it was just pay dirt. It's
take those plays out. You take those plays out. I'd be curious to see the final stat line, but I still felt deeply concerned with our secondary pass defense. It just felt so easy, and then they made the critical mistakes on top of it, which we hadn't really seen them do in a long time. So eliminate those 2 big plays. I feel slightly better, but I'm still concerned in the overall ability.
How concerned are you that we have not seen much from the outside safeties? We've seen Sanks make plays, we've seen Peak make plays. We have not seen a lot from Christian Harrison, from Trayvon Gala-Collard, from Taden Barnes, from Xavier Williams, who was not listed on the 2 deep at star. He's been moved outside, at least in terms of the depth chart. So I'm a little concerned, Ryan, that's a critical part of this defense. Those 2 outside safeties. Yeah. And we have not seen a lot from those guys. We have not seen a lot.
Yeah, that is like the difference maker in the scheme. It's that guy. That guy is able to fit up in the run, and he's that extra body that's able to kind of manipulate, zone beaters and be able to put himself in windows that he's not supposed to be in to make it difficult on the quarterback. So you're supposed to see a lot of like havoc in a way from that position, because it is the essence of the defense. It's that extra guy that is supposed to be he's supposed to be involved in a lot. He's supposed to be involved in every type of play to the field, the run, and be able to kind of poke his head in there and either make some PBUs, get in the quarterback's head, make some interceptions. So it is concerning. But we'll see. We gotta. I wish it would make it a lot easier for me to know what was really going on. Like if I had like the cut ups of what coverage are they in?
You want the all 22?
All 22. What is our calls? Who is on an island? Or because a lot of the times too, when you have an extra player, it's man, but you have like leverage help from your other safety or your line, or like your linebacker is supposed to take away a certain window that makes it harder for the quarterback to throw the ball. So it's hard. It's hard to break down, especially on the TV cut where you only see half the play. But I saw enough on the TV cut where our guys were 2 yards behind the receiver and a lot. So we'll see. We'll see how it progresses, but they got
you're playing good quarterbacks in this league, Ryan. I just it's not sustainable to have your guys in trail constantly, like always 2 yards off. Guy makes catch. Yeah, we make the tackle 95. Like I thought they tackled well virtually the entire game against Kansas. But when guys are catching the ball, and look, some of that Kansas does a lot of eye candy. I mean, we talked about it. I asked Satterfield about it. It was coming into this game. It was the main thing. Like you would see, they'd motion a guy, and then as the guy would come in, there'd be two guys that go with the motion guy. Nobody would go with the stationary guy. That gives a free release. They make the quick throw to the guy that's left unguarded, where you had two guys to guard two guys. Both of them go with one and leave the second guy wide open. None more evident than the one touchdown late, where the guy's just standing in the back of the end zone like this. Some of that is Kansas specific, but
other teams are going to take advantage, just like you said before, like when you were talking about us, what we're putting on film. Other teams are going to see that, and they'd be stupid not to use it. I mean, it's not hard to teach your receivers how to motion. You can put plays in pretty quick.
Yeah, I will say some of that is Kansas specific because of their scheme. But yeah, I mean, it's just a simple motion the tight end across the line, and then Cincinnati didn't have good eye discipline, and they leave a guy running free into the end zone. Like that stuff has got to get cleaned up, or the offenses in this league are going to eat you alive.
Yeah. I think also pressure on the quarterback needs to continue to ramp up. I don't know, Roy, did you notice that it didn't seem like they brought too many blitzes or pressures additional? Obviously ended up with 0 sacks on the day, but an interesting type of look as well, because I mean, still obviously no interceptions on the year. They did get that turnover, obviously, but it was a peak punch. But I don't know. It didn't seem like there were very many, and in a game where Daniels threw it how many times? 28 passes. It didn't really seem like any were truly in the vicinity to be intercepted. I mean, at some point you got to just like luck into an interception, but the pass rush didn't really seem to be there too much.
No. When it was, he got away.
Right. Exactly. I don't know. Teams are going to be able to throw all over. What's up, Greg? People are going to be able to throw all over if you can't get some sort of pressure consistently or create turnover-worthy plays. I don't know. I don't know if you saw that same thing.
No, the pressure was – we weren't dialing it up, and we were. It wasn't that successful. It also makes it hard as a defensive coordinator to want to gamble on pressures when you're watching your guys kind of get cooked in the back end. So it's like, hey, if they pick this up well, or if he can just, run outside the tackle really quickly, buy himself a half a second, like you're taking guys that are struggling and putting them on an island even more when you start to dial up more pressures. Yeah. So it also doesn't help when you don't have Dante in there to coincide with the pressure. Just his ability to create havoc between the guards and center was sorely missed. But yeah, I kind of maybe they could have had a game plan going, and hey, we're going against a 6-year quarterback who's been watching pressures for 6 years, and maybe we want to kind of rely more on not like getting caught in one where he could really take advantage of it. And then you kind of see the combination of him delivering the ball pretty well throughout the game. So, hey, let's just put our guys in the best spot to like not let up a big play and to not, one-on-one our guys too much, because that certainly wasn't working whenever they were in one-on-one scenarios.
Yeah. I mean, the hope is Dante's back. Obviously, you can get kind of the continuity going again. I mean, you had Golday still looked like a freaking man on a mission out there. You did see some good plays from Peak. You did see certain small flashes around the day. So in the end, they made not enough. Obviously, 600 yards. I mean, Kansas is probably have whatever the Lawrence Longfellow's podcast is probably really diving in pretty hard to how the holes in their defense as well. So in the end, it's a 37-34 win for the Bearcats. So when you got Brendan Sorsby and the offense picking yourself up, the special teams, obviously, Manny Covey, touchdown. We're going to count it here. Good job, my man. Great touchdown. Block in the back, more like a touch in the back. I wouldn't mind a little bit of that in my life, if you know me, call me. Then, of course, Stephen Rustick. Would you say he was probably one of the better additions out of the portal that no one's really talking about? He's pretty damn automatic, and I'm going to knock on wood wherever I got it around me because hopefully I don't flip that. But his one field goal from like 43 yards looked like it could have been good from like 63 yards. So keep it up, man. That's a great weapon to have when you can kind of turn to it and use them. And then, of course, Max Fletcher, stud. He's slowly rising up the rankings of average yardage per punt. So it'll be fun. Anything more on this game, guys? We got 111 in, and we gotta still rip in Mailbag.
I'm good.
All righty, sounds good. All right, let's go ahead.
All right, Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. Quick Paper services over 150 restaurants with weekly, low minimum next-day deliveries. They provide a wide range of food service products from to-go containers, cups, custom printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for your first month of purchases. I also have something else I want to get to, Brent. I'm gonna leave this up, QR code here in the corner. So our good friends at Urban Artifacts /Costallo, I guess the federal government is trying to once again limit the hemp industry, and that puts like Costallo in danger. Like 95% of that industry is going to go away if this passes. So scan that QR code, and it's kind of like a petition, something to send to your state representatives to let them know to support the hemp industry. It's a $25 billion industry. Costallo's awesome. And they've been a great partner here on and off for us here at the BBP. So go to that QR code, contact your state reps, and let them know, knock the shit off. It's hemp. It's fine. Relax. It's good for you. Brought to you by Riffin' with Roy.
There we go.
Tripping with Royer. This is Tripping with Royer.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, real quick. I want to, Bob Drake. I hear you. Missouri absolutely carved up Kansas's D. Let's not get too excited. I mean, Missouri's 19th in the country, 5-0. I mean, I take that as well. So, yeah.
No, Bob, they won. We're going to get excited. Don't tell us how to fan. If you don't want to get excited, that's fine. You cannot get excited. But we have sat here and talked about enough fucking losses, Bob, that they won, and we're going to get excited about it. You understand me, sir?
We've had enough not great Bob days.
Right.
This is a great day, Bob.
Great day, Bob. Good game, Bob.
But Bob, I agree. Let's not get too ahead of our skis.
This is a really good, like,
Bearcats
we're going
money
the
line.
opposite direction here.
Bearcats
Iowa
money line.
Iowa State's really good on defense. So
Yeah.
we're going in the other direction here.
I will be curious to see, though, a good defense, but maybe not as elite secondary as Nebraska, but definitely a step up in terms of a defense as a whole. So it'll be a good kind of true, where are we,
Yeah.
come Sunday morning.
Didn't Iowa State just lose a defensive back?
Yeah, they're starting corners out for the year.
Yeah. That can
Next
only help
man
us. Jeremiah Cooper, yeah.
All right, boys.
T's and P's.
First question. As I got shit from Aaron last time I did a 1 to 10, no sevens. 1 to 10, no 7. How confident were you in the offense taking the field with a minute 45 left that they were going to go down and score a touchdown?
8. They had dominated all day. Like, I had faith. Sorsby was cooking. We talked a million. Sorsby is a rhythm quarterback, right?
Yeah.
He is a rhythm guy, and he was in rhythm. The only thing I was worried about, you're pass. Kansas can pass rush. I was worried a little bit about that, but Sorsby did a very good job of navigating the choppy waters because they got to him quite a bit on that last drive. He was not standing back there picking apart a Kansas D that was playing prevent. Like, they were getting after him, and he made some plays. But I was confident. I felt like he had been really good all day, really good to great all day. And I thought he was in one of those rhythms that I really like when he's feeling it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you because even after the fourth, like on the 4th and 10 play, I kind of in my mind was like, nah, we're not going down right now. There's no chance. Because the illegal touching pass obviously had me like, whoo. And then the 4th down, I mean, Noah Jennings, shouts to the boy. I was at about an 8 as well when we were taking the field. I was like, we're moving up and down. There's no way they're going to stop us on this one.
I was at a 5 because
Same.
I thought it was a perfect weekend for the Bearcats to lose, the FC Cincinnati to lose as well. They end up tying, and the Reds to drop out of the playoffs and that whole season be a wash, and for the Bengals to get embarrassed on Monday night, and we are on our way there. But it's just being a Cincinnati fan. I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop, and Brendan Sorsby made me a believer. Truthfully, it was the best game he's had since game 5 last season. So I was super elated.
All right. How much more of an impact do you think Dante Corleone is going to have on the defense against Iowa State?
How much does he play?
If he's 100%.
There's a 0% chance I think he's at 100%. I think you might get a shell of Corleone. I think he'll probably be on a snap count, kind of like he was against Nebraska.
I mean, if it was the same thing that he was last year against Pitt in his first game back, he still had some like huge moments in that Pitt game. Obviously,
I was going to say, I think there will be additional pressure that you didn't have this past week. I think he certainly helps out, whether he's at 75% or 80, 90%. Whatever version of Dante Corleone you get out there, he's going to give it everything that he has. We know that. And he is a monster at nose tackle that everyone would love to have. So, yeah, I think it certainly makes a difference how big that difference ends up being, because you want him out there for all of the snaps. But I think when he's out, regardless of how many snaps he's out, you're going to notice.
He just changes things for everybody up front because he does just dominate the point of attack. And if you want to control him, you better put 2 on him, and you maybe need 3 because he's going to beat 1. If you put 1 on him, you're cooked. Ask Dana Holgerson. He talked about it a bunch leading up to that Nebraska game, and we saw it in that Nebraska game. When they put 1 on him, he dominated. Like, he is a dominant force. So it definitely changes things. The question, I'm pretty confident we'll see him out there unless there's a setback, but like on the trajectory he was on, I'm pretty confident we'll see him out there. The question is it 25 snaps? Is it 35 snaps? Is it 40 snaps? Like, what is the number that he's out there? That's going to determine how effective he is. But he definitely is a game wrecker. So they need him. They need him if they're going to win this game. They need him to be out there and be effective.
Yeah. I mean, when he's on the field, it's absolutely going to change the game. Yeah, I just think like you would have sure Kansas had a bunch of yards and a lot of it through the air and whatnot, but I think that just like he just occupies that middle of that defense, the middle of the offensive line so much where it's like you have to atone extra people for him every single time that he's out there. So I think even having him out there is going to be a massive upgrade, massive addition to whatever the defense is going to do.
What would be your ideal not that. You know, we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier when referencing how the passing game was hitting so well, how it's been hitting. Do you think that is going to be the only recipe for success against Iowa State? Or do you feel that, you know, do you feel that if we're able to kind of keep that 50-50 split run to pass, that could propel us to being in the game and going out and trying to shock the world, beating the number 12 team in the country, whatever the hell they are?
14. We're favored, Royer.
Yeah, we shouldn't be favored in that game, but my opinion.
Aaron, what do you think? You guys are the Big 12 experts.
I don't know, man. What do you got, Chad?
I missed it. Sorry, Kelsey just got home, so I had the headphones off for a second.
I said
more pass or run out of us against Iowa State to pull out the win.
Probably more run. Like, that's just a really, really good pass defense. Like, I think you need to run at them and force them to load the box and then try to beat them. But the other thing I will say is it's the same system. So they're in a zone most of the time. If Sorsby continues to do a really good job taking what is given, I think the passing game should have a much better day than they had a year ago. A year ago was one of the worst days for UC passing the football in the history of the program. But I think you can run at them. I think you run at them and force them to react to the run and then open up the passing game off of that. Because I think you can be physical with them with this offensive line at the point of attack.
How much time should Tyson Veit be spending in the offensive coaches meetings?
None. He needs to spend all of his time in the defensive meetings, Ryan.
We need to get Bishel to donate some Mountain Dew to Veit's office so we can work double time this week. Do his
Get him some Costello.
Yeah.
Get him some Costello.
We need him in the offensive coaches meetings, and we need him doing time and a half on defense to get those guys right. So let's call it 2.5 times work for Tyson. I think he can handle it, though. He's the man.
When you ask that question, though, I think you have to go back, and it depends on what is Joe Royer playing. Because if Joe Royer's playing, I think that changes what you can do in the pass game, especially if he's getting bracketed. You're taking potentially a safety away in that situation.
Yeah.
So that makes a monumental difference. And I guess it depends on what kind of pressure is Iowa State getting up front. If the offensive line's able to give him plenty of time again to make his
it's
reads
not a
and
pressure
checkdowns,
scheme. Like they are not trying to get after the quarterback.
which leads me to believe that Sorsby is going to be able to make his reads and make his checkdowns and find the open receiver. And I think that spells nothing but a good thing for Brendan Sorsby. He's gone against this defense the entire time he's been here. The entire time he's been here. So I think that he's well equipped to take on Iowa State, if anybody is. So I don't know. I guess I don't know that I'd love to see them run it more because, again, the same point I brought up last week is because you have the lead and because you're wanting to run the clock, eat the clock, and get out of there. But I don't know that I would hate at this point if we get to see the same Brendan Sorsby we saw just a few days ago. I would love to see him pick apart, just because we've been
the only concern though. Aaron, the only concern is though they turn you over. Like they turn you over. So the more you put it in the air, the more that defense has done a really good job historically and this year of kind of baiting you into mistakes or taking advantage. That's the thing about Iowa State. We've talked about it a million times with them. They take advantage of your errors. Like that, they do not hurt themselves. And if there's a tipped pass or a poorly thrown ball, more often than not, they're going to have somebody there to make you pay. So I don't disagree with you, but I'm just like, that is their thing, right? They want to lull you into a sense of this is working. And then next thing you know, they intercept 2 passes and 2 drives and put you in bad field position. How about 55-45 pass to run? You still pass it a little bit more, but you're not letting them sit back there and figure out what you're trying to do and allowing them to get comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa State played Avery Johnson, who, whatever. Obviously, the first half is what it is. The very first game of the year is what it is, and then they played Iowa. Iowa's passing offense is nothing.
Yeah. They stink.
Then they played some random FCS team. No, they played Arkansas State, and then they played Arizona this past week. So it's not like Fafita's fine, but he doesn't have Ted McMillan anymore. So I don't think that this Iowa State team has yet faced a passing attack like Brendan Sorsby and these weapons can do. So I think 55-45 is fine. I don't know. I just think that the confidence level is sky high, and you got to ride that hot hand that Sorsby has. And back in front of the home fans, sure, Iowa State's defense will pose a big problem, but I think you continue to let it fly.
Yep.
What else you got, Ryan?
Thrifty Walrus says, on the bright side, at least in the Scott Satterfield era, this Bearcats team doesn't have a pattern to shoot itself at the foot when given the opportunity. Ha. Real funny, Thrifty Walrus. Real funny.
We all will remember that after the Pitt win pregame before the Miami game, we were all giving Ryan Royer a big hug saying, we're going to be rich. Shot ourselves in the foot there. You got one more,
lost
Ryan?
like $100 that day.
Well, Brian, why don't you lead us right in?
You know what? We were texting. Remember when you were telling me to call you Rory Royer because you wanted me to start talking some shiznit to you? And I was like, dude, I'm not going to do that, dude. I'm not a heckler. I'm not a crazy fan. And you were like, okay, well, what is one of the most crazy fan environments that you've been associated with? Like, what is a scenario where you've been in a crowd where it's just like, whoa, this is some crazy fanhood going on? And I was like, dude, that's a good question. That's a good question. Because the Ryder Cup did get a little rowdy. They did have to bring the extra security, and they did have to have some MCs try and get the crowd in line with some chants, because I guess they didn't know how to do chants themselves. But it was weird. Anyway, You were talking about crazy crowds that you've been associated with. I said, say this for the BVP. Let's hear around the horn some of the crazier fan / crowd / anything that you've been associated with since you've been on this beautiful planet Earth.
Mine, I was at the Bengals-Bills game, and someone in our section shoved a fan, was like talking shit to this guy. This guy just shoves him. This dude goes flying down 3 rows, takes out like 2 people, and then this probably like 50-year-old woman, and she went like cartwheeling down the seats.
Oh no.
Oh my God, it was a sight. Everyone was okay, but that lady got up and she said some choice words to that man that were quite funny that I will not repeat.
Okay. That'll be on our special channel. You can hear those.
She said she told him to put things in places and
things that she probably didn't have. So yeah.
Every Bengals Steelers game I've ever been to has been a wild adventure from start to finish. It seems everybody's fine until they enter the stadium. Tailgating is fine. It's normal. But then once you enter the stadium, gloves are off and everyone just forgets that they have lives. They forget that they have lives outside of the stadium that can be negatively affected by whatever it is that you do inside the stadium. Being a fan at the Crosstown Shootout is much of the same. And that should go as no surprise to anybody listening who's been there. Ed and I scored tickets right behind Memphis's bench, and we may or may not have been heckling Memphis's bench during, Penny Hardaway and Mike Miller, and was Coach Brown still on the team at that point? Maybe.
We ended up losing.
We got stared. They were very mad at us.
Imagine that.
Well, look, when I heckle, I make sure not to say things that are going to get me kicked out, but I will say some things that will make you uncomfortable. And we certainly made them uncomfortable. They definitely don't like when you point out stats. And yeah, we got stared down. I may have been pointed at. I don't recall, but yeah.
It's hard. Like, I just haven't been a fan for so long. There's so little I get to go to as a fan. I mean, I remember like one of the wildest atmospheres I remember. It wasn't anything like we're going to see fights and stuff, but I was, I think 14 for the 1992 NL Championship Series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Bonds and Bonilla, and my dad and I went to 2 of those games.
Skinny
that
Bonds.
Was a lot of fun. Yeah, Skinny Bonds. Like I loved Barry Bonds, even like in the Pirates Barry Bonds days. But yeah, that was a pretty wild atmosphere. Reds, or no, that was 90. Sorry, that was 90. So I would have been about to 12, about to turn 13.
Okay.
So yeah, that one was pretty wild. Growing up, I don't know. It's. I mean, I've been doing this 19 years now.
Yeah.
Just this. I've been in the media on and off since 1995.
I hear you.
30. My 30-year class reunion is this weekend, guys.
Wow. Did you go?
It's this coming weekend.
Oh, you gonna go?
Everybody's going to the football game Friday night. So I probably will make an appearance at the Lloyd Juggernauts football game on Friday night.
The celebrity is back.
Saturday, we don't get done until 4:30. Aaron's got a 2.5-hour drive home. So it'll probably be 7:30 before we start the aftermath. 8:30, 9 o'clock. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it.
Put your evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
No, I mean, the problem is though, like at 9 o'clock, 9:30, everybody's going to be pretty sauced if I get there at that point in time.
Yeah.
I
You
don't.
gotta play
I don't.
catch up. You
I
gotta
don't
play
want to do
catch up.
that.
Whenever you
That's.
play, whenever you play
I'd rather
catch
be
up.
there. I'd rather be there at the start and be. I don't want to
Yeah.
see people I haven't seen. I don't think I've been to a reunion since maybe like our 15-year reunion,
Mhm.
15 years ago. So I haven't seen most of these people in 15 years. I don't want to run into them for the first time when I'm sober and they're feeling really good.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't know. Maybe like if they beat Iowa State, I might go.
Have to.
I might go at that point in time. I'll be in a good mood. The girlfriend will be here, so I'll have a driver.
Finish up the aftermath. Tell Aaron.
Molly Malone's in Covington. They've got a great scotch collection.
Okay.
Maybe go down to Molly Malone's and hammer some scotch. If the
Why
Bearcats,
not?
we'll see.
Why not?
30th reunion.
Why not?
3-0.
Royer, real fast. I was at a Indiana versus Purdue basketball game, wearing a Cincinnati basketball jersey, up in the stands, getting a little like oh, and then I start to like lose my footing, and I just like fall straight down, and like tumble over like 5, 6, 7, 10 rows in front of me, and my shoe flies off, and I just like slowly go back to my seat, and I'm like, gosh damn it, that was bad. And then the police come and bring me my shoe back, and they're like, here you go, man. Calm down a little bit. I was like, yeah, I look like a buffoon. So yeah, I kind of have been in that ilk that you're talking about. So fanhood, it's always fun. Gotta love a good crowd. But let's timestamp. Let's do this mailbag, Aaron. Let's get it going. Let's do it nice and quick. We got a Bengals game to watch.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. They service over 150 restaurants with weekly low minimum next-day deliveries, providing a wide range of food service products from to-go containers, cups, custom printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases. And that brings us to the Gregory Hooden Mailbag. Gregory Hooden is a distinguished automobile sales representative at Beachmont Toyota. And if you go see him, he'll hook you up. You can find him on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Cincy Greg Hooden. That's Cincy with a Y, Greg, Hoodin. Buy your newer pre-owned Toyota from Greg at Beachmont Toyota. You want to buy your car from a Bearcat family member. So ask for Greg, tell him the BBP boys sent you, and he will get you hooked up. Big discounts if they mention the BBP, right? Like you're gonna hook them up, Greg.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
All right, let's get into this mailbag. The first question from the football portion of the mailbag. Do you think that we can use the route concepts that lead to busted coverage versus us versus Iowa State?
I'd some of it, yeah. That is Kansas' entire system. All of the motion and the eye candy, like that is who they are as an offense. Can you put some of that? Can you put some, like UC uses a lot of motion? Honestly, Ryan, I don't know if you'd agree with me or not. I think this offense probably uses more motion than any offense I've seen at UC. They do a lot of the orbit motion. There's almost always Cyrus Allen or a tight end going across the line of scrimmage, bringing the wide receiver out a little bit more inside. Like it feels like on almost every snap there is some variation of motion.
Yeah, we motioned a lot, just mainly with the tight end though, not as dynamic and not as much variations as we have now.
Cyrus motions a lot from the slot. They motion and they should, because he's tough to guard. You get him moving, you fake the jet sweep, you fake the end around on the orbits. Like there's a lot that Cincinnati is doing offensively. It's not as detailed as Kansas. Like I said, that's the the kind of core of everything that Kansas does offensively. But some of those things I think are possible, and some of those things I think they're already doing. That's giving defenses some fits with guarding them in the passing game. So, yeah, I think there's some stuff that you could see.
All right. Seemed like our linebackers and DBs really bit on Kansas's play action all day, even without the huge threat of a strong run game. Any reasons why?
Kind of what Chad's been talking about.
They bait you into it, man.
Yeah.
Your eyes are all over the place with them.
It's keys. You have pre-snap keys and you have first two steps of a play keys, and you have to respect them. And it's just being able to recognize it as quick as possible. And when you have a lot of different actions, pre-snap and decoy type of setups from the offense being put on you, it makes you freeze. You don't even have – it's not even like – all it has to do is make you freeze for half a second, and you're either getting toasted on a deep ball or you're getting leveraged up to for a block, or you're
following the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Leaving another guy wide open in space with nobody around him because you read the motion wrong and you didn't communicate with the guy that you're playing the zone with. A lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. That's why that offense, like last year, they took a step back because they went away from that offense. If you go back 2 and 3 years ago, the Kansas offense was the talk of college football in a lot of ways because of how difficult it was to game plan. And then last year, they brought in a new offense coordinator. They got away from it, and their season tanked. And this year, they've gone back to a lot of that stuff, and it's discipline. It's knowing this is what I'm supposed to do. This is my job. Don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in what you think is going to happen. Guard what's happening, but that's way easier said than done. Way easier said than done.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We're averaging 39.5 points per game through 4 games. Is that who we are?
They averaged come on. We're not
the outlier. Obviously.
We're not averaging that Northwestern State game into this, Killer B. That's disingenuous, and you know it. We scored 10 touchdowns.
We're a 24 to 30 point team.
I think that's fair.
Trending, depending on what happens against Iowa State, you could say trending towards that, closer to that 30 number.
Yeah.
Because if Sorsby keeps clicking.
If they put up 28-31 against Iowa State, then they're more like 28 to 34
right
than they are 24 to 30.
Yeah.
But for now, 24 to 30.
And before this week, I was confident that our defense could sit right around that 21-point mark by, hey, bend don't break. You're going to give up some touchdowns, but as long as you're not giving up a lot of explosive plays that are fast and getting getting more drives back in the offense's hands. But yeah, that started to shift a little bit.
Turned up to be. Yeah.
At the end of each half in this game, we scored the final 3 and final 7, totaling 10-0. Was that the single key to winning the game? P.S. If that was duplicated in every game played in Satt's tenure, we would be 21-7 instead of 11-17 over his 3 years. That's a 9-3 pace per year.
Wow.
I think the key to winning that game was the forced fumble.
Yeah.
I think without that, you lose. And I also think the play that almost killed us was the getting tackled at the half-inch line because of the ultimate ball security, which, you know what? I respect it. Don't want to get it punched out, and then the hold on the subsequent play.
Which is insane.
There was a lot of bad calls. That
First
one was
goal at the 1. You
don't hold.
Yeah, just he'll get tackled at the 1, then you can run it again.
Right.
Or even get tackled at the 2. It's fine. Just like
it's better than the 11.
Yeah.
Don't hold.
But yeah, Killer V, hell of a job looking up these stats though. That's a pretty cool thing to hear. But golly, it
But
is.
hey, look, not being a disaster at the end of the first half was also a big factor in winning the game.
It's refreshing to be on the opposite side of the end of a half scenario where it works in our favor. But although, like, huge hat tip to Evan Pryor, who if he doesn't bust those runs, what it was first down and 10, and we're obviously just handed the ball off, and it could have been like, okay, if he gets stuffed for a 2-yard gain, then do we just let the clock run out like we normally do and go into halftime? No, he took matters into his own hands and forced us to kick the field goal. So, hat tip to him.
Defensive player Ryan Royer calls the turnover the key play. I will counter that 1A with 1B, Noah Jennings and that ridiculous catch.
Yeah,
those are the two games. And we're somebody asked. We'll get to that here in a second.
And they go hand in hand too, though. I mean, if Daniel scores, do you even get the chance to have Noah Jennings 4th and 10?
Yeah, I don't think you do.
This question was asked in the 9:15 mailbag. Would a win over Kansas be the biggest win in the Satterfield regime, given all the noise and circumstances and the mounting pressure to win 7 or 8 games? Furthermore, would a W and a 3-1 and 1-0 start change your personal projection for the season win total? The collective consensus answer on that podcast was no change in season win total projection. Do you still feel the same?
For now, yes. For now, yes.
I tell you what.
If they win this week,
then that's a different conversation. We're having a different conversation if they beat Iowa State.
Kool-Aid tastes a little sweeter right now. I'll just say that.
For sure. But it is still, in the grand scheme of things,
yes,
1 win.
Right.
I am gonna, before I get way out over my skis, I'm gonna see what happens in week 2, in week 6, whatever it is, week 6, week 2 of Big 12 play.
I agree.
All right. If you had the opportunity to agree for the regular season to end with us having the record of 9-3, would you sign up for it or play it out?
Sign up for it.
Sign up for it.
Sign me right up.
I'll take 9-3 all day. If we only got to sit here for 2 more losses and we get 6 more wins, I'm in.
That'd be awesome. That would
make those aftermaths way easier.
I mean,
my goodness.
We're 9-3. Like, there's a chance we're playing for the Big 12 title.
Yeah,
right. That's 7-2 in the Big 12,
and we're in a hell of a bowl game either way.
Yeah, you're in position to play in the Big 12 championship game.
Brent exists out over his skis. Accurate.
Live life, Thrifty. You know that, baby. See me at Cobble Rocks, brother.
What were the top 3 plays of the game to bring us the victory? We've already gone over 1A and 1B, so what would be the last remaining play, I suppose?
It might have been the touchdown that we didn't get to witness because the camera wasn't showing it. That was a hell of a play.
Cyrus Allen touchdown, yeah.
Or
I don't know if it was a hell of a play or not, Ryan. I couldn't.
Maybe the run down to the 2. Tawi Walker.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah.
I mean, that put Cincinnati in the driver's seat. Like, you're on the doorstep now.
Kind of a gutsy call.
Look, it was, and I hate that being at like the 12-yard line.
Yeah,
I hate it because the defense is consolidated, but there's still a lot of ground before you can get to the end zone. Like, you're not operating in open space like you are from the 25 or whatever. I hate being in that area of the field.
Yeah.
So for Walker to take that thing down to the 2, you get a first down. That's a pretty ballsy play call.
Seconds left.
Yeah.
So, Kerry had a good write up. Obviously, he does a great job with those articles each week, but he listed 5 plays, and I agree with him as well. Like the Royer catch, the one that he got injured on, was massive because
That's a
that
big
was
one
a
too.
third
Fourth
and
down, yeah.
long. Would have
Or
had
third
to
and
give the
long,
ball
yeah.
back to them. Chad, we can go back to the second drive of the game where they went for it on fourth down twice. Where if you get the ball back to Kansas, they score another touchdown. You're in a 14-0 hole. Maybe you don't have enough Sorsby magic to kind of get back in it. So, I don't know. I think a lot of those are probably up there, but yeah, I'll give it the top we run. I mean that Noah Jennings catch is gotta put that in lore. That's just a fantastic grab, and one where Sorsby just has a great personality. Real quick, where he just talks about how like he has to buy Noah Jennings something. He's not going to buy Cyrus anything because Cyrus already has too many things. I just like that's a funny dude. That's a guy, great guy.
Little salsa. His salsa was fire.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
Got some gumbo.
And by the way, Killer V, I did predict a Kansas loss. So did Brent.
Yeah.
So maybe it does. Right now, at least, it changes what I had as a loss to a win. But we both picked a victory against Iowa State. So it could even itself back out this week. If they win Iowa State, ask your question again, Killer V, because we will all be out over the skis.
Join me.
What grade would you give each special teams unit so far this season?
Punt A,
Field goal kicking A+.
A+. Yeah, he's perfect. You can't
I
have
feel
a
like
better score than that.
KOR is essentially just a wash. I mean,
Yeah,
the amount
we
of
never do anything. Punt return.
Punt, if there wasn't a bullshit flag thrown, would have been an A.
Yeah. Punt.
They haven't made any F. They haven't made any F plays, which I think is more important.
Maybe
they had
kickoff. That one would have gone out of bounds if the Kansas guy let it go, which was nuts.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why he came up and just grabbed that.
Because he hadn't returned one yet.
Maybe the camera angle made it look a little bit. It might have bounced right into the end zone because I mean he seemed to catch it like at least 2 yards from the sideline.
Yeah,
it seemed like it was bouncing pretty straight. But
I'll go kickoff coverage B- because there were 2 plays against Nebraska. Against Bowling Green. Yeah. So I'll go B- on kick coverage. Everything else, I have no issue. And look, Rusnick and Max were critical in that game. 3 punts from Fletch, all 3 of them inside the 20-yard line, all 3 of them 50-plus yards.
Yeah.
And then Rusnick perfect on his field goal attempts, perfect on his extra points. Those guys in a game that we talked about, Kansas is really good on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati won special teams. So that's a big one.
All right. That ends the football portion of the mailbag. We'll move into the basketball portion of the mailbag. With all the storylines going into the season and the chance of Wes getting canned due to not making the tourney, is this the most important season in recent history for the program?
Yes.
I think the West getting canned stuff is a fan thing that is probably, unless there's same thing with Satterfield, unless there is a collapse, I don't think West is getting canned. But it's
Very
an important season for sure. Yeah. They haven't made the tournament in 5 years. You got to get back to the tournament.
Relevancy is so important, man. And
yeah,
I just gotta win. Yeah, Chad, I meant to ask you about the additional coaching hire they added over the last few years.
Administrative role.
Yeah, it does seem like they're giving extra effort to all hands on deck type approach, which is just aids.
My understanding is a guy with an offensive background, can coach offense, can design offense, is friends with Steve Kerr. So just another piece of the brain trust, another voice in those meeting rooms. He's not going to be able to coach like practice or anything. So it's not on that level. But it is somebody that can maybe bring a little bit of, a little different set of eyes, a little different philosophy on what he sees and how he
Yep.
thinks it can best be utilized. Anything that helps on that front is a good thing.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Any movement for 2026 recruiting class?
Chad. A Chad grin.
Maybe.
I was going to say it's a great face for audio purposes. So the people listening on the podcast, they can really see your smirk.
There's that insert smirk.
He's got the
Maybe.
same look that he posted on the board.
Interesting.
Maybe we'll have something to talk about next week. Ask me next week. How's that? Ask me next week.
All right. And the last question here for the basketball portion of the mailbag. Who is the single most important player on this Bearcat Hoops team? The player that must excel for the season to be a success.
Savage is 27, Big Slime. So Savage is not news on the 2026 front. Kevin Savage, high 4-star, trending towards 5-star point guard in 2027. Official visit this weekend for the basketball program. But that is not related to 2026.
Also not related to Fred Savage.
Oh,
I
fair.
don't know that. I have not asked that question. Maybe
Have
he
you done
is.
that research yet?
I
Is
don't
that
know
true?
that answer.
I'm gonna make that guess.
Yeah, we're a news site, Aaron. We don't assume things.
Yeah.
You know what happens when you
Only
assume?
Only factual.
I've got three guys bouncing in my head for this one. Day, as he is going to be the experienced leader to guide the ship, but also I'm thinking of a guy like Kerr Kriisa, who's now kind of thrust more into more like without Jizzle. He has like that edge to him. He's got experience that he can kind of bring a big pop to this team. But then I think Mustafa Cham also, just if he can stay on his trajectory and to be a true dominant, dynamic player inside for us that we really haven't had in a long time. So those are kind of my little brainstorms right now. I don't know if I could really say one's more important than the other.
I think it's easy for me. You guys want to go? I'll get mine last.
Gotta
think
be
it's
Michael.
Cham.
Gotta be Michael Jordan.
Abayev,
Sean Abayev.
Michael Jordan.
I mean, like, you guys keep making fun of me, but hey, go back and listen to that press conference. Who was Corey Evans and Wes Miller talking a lot about? And I'm not going to say he's going to be first on the scene, blah, blah, blah. But the single most important player that must excel. If he is better than what we think, I think that only adds to the entire team and having someone that can score at a high level. But also, yeah, I mean, Cham is an easy answer. Baba, is he able to take that, next step? I think Wes mentioned how he saw overseas a different side of Baba's game that is something that he's going to be able to add to it as well. But we have so many pieces that we just do need. We still need offense. We need someone to take the offense. So who's it going to be? Give me someone. It's either Baba or Bayev for me.
I think it's Baba. I think he's the most unique talent on the team. He's 6'11", 7 foot. He can block shots. He can rebound. He can handle the ball. He's a good passer. He can shoot. Like, I don't think anybody gives you as many boxes checked if he is really good. Like, that's not saying he's going to be really good. The player that must excel for this season to be a success for me, that means he excelled, right? Like, we're making the leap to, if this player was excellent at the end of the season, who do you need that to be the most? I think it's Baba, because I think he can help you on offense. He can help you on defense. He can get the break started. He can get tempo started by being able to get it and go. I think he's going to be a good part of the offense in terms of understanding when to move the ball, that processing that we've talked about with Corey a bunch of times. I just think overall he can contribute more per capita than anybody else on the roster. So I'm gonna go Baba. And I don't think it's particularly close.
I think we were on the same mindset as far as like if you're going to excel from expectations. That's why I think it's got to be Mustafa Cham, because if he goes from NBA potential to NBA ready, man,
but I think Baba's in the same. He's got NBA potential. He's a 7'4" that can do a little bit of everything. Yeah. If he goes to all of a sudden, this guy's an NBA, like this guy has finally gotten more closer to his ceiling than his floor. I think he's got that same thing, Aaron. So Cham's he's the best player on the roster in terms of like prospect talent, most likely to play in the NBA. But man, on this team, having that guy at the 4 that they just didn't have last year, the year before, like since Trey Scott's been here, really. Like, I think that just changes a little bit of everything.
The more I read this question, I like single most important player. Like we could break this down so much because this could be two different people. Like single most important player could be one guy, and then the player that must excel for the season to be a success could be a different player. I don't know.
That's fair.
Because like yes, I think if Cham or Baba blasts into an NBA player, obviously that's the most important player on the team. But if they throw in it, like I think those are kind of known commodities that need to have good seasons in order for the year to have it to be successful. Yeah. I'm thinking of like additional outside people that if they amp their game up higher than what we're expected, then the team could be even better. So I don't know. I'm just out here living a hub ahead of my skis. I love it out here.
Over your skis. That ends the basketball portion of the mailbag. Moving on to the banks, because there were no questions in the baseball mailbag. Reds versus LA. Reds in 3. Crazy, not crazy. P.S. Did I mention Green, Lodolo, and Abbott?
Except that's wrong. It's Green, Littell, and Abbott. Green starts tomorrow, Littell Wednesday, Abbott Thursday, mainly because Lodolo pitched was needed yesterday. In the game they didn't win. So Lodolo will be in the bullpen for this series.
Reds in 3.
Reds in 3 is crazy, but it is October.
Let's get Reds in 2. Screw it.
I mean, the wild thing is this team has been at their best against the better teams, but this offense stinks. The Dodgers pitching is really good. I'd go Dodgers in 3. I think the Reds get 1. We get to Thursday. Dodgers win a close one Thursday. I wonder what the Dodgers rotation is, if anybody knows.
Are they throwing Snell game 1?
They announced at an hour ago that Shohei Ohtani is potential game 3 starter. So they've not actually announced their full rotation yet, it seems. As he's
the Reds handled Shohei.
Yeah,
if that's a season deciding game. Shell, Yamamoto, and Shohei. True, it's gonna be hard to get to game 3 against Snell and Yamamoto.
They didn't no hit them.
Let's attack Snell. Get in his mind. I've had him too many times in my fantasy team, and he has little mini blow-ups, but he's on fire at times.
Dodgers in 3, unfortunately. I'd love to see the Reds advance. It's been a long time.
My ass will be in Great American Ballpark if they can pull it off. That is a guarantee.
Let's go. We need Royer in Great American Ballpark.
And the final question in the mailbag, was that a top 3 memorable broadcast? Was really impressed with TNT effort and focus on that game.
They did a great job.
For me, I recalled during that game watching Golick and it made me think of Tom Crean and what he brought to the broadcast.
Where they actually researched both teams, knew what they were talking about, had informed opinions based off of knowledge instead of just showing
Winging
up
it.
on Friday, calling a game on Saturday, and then going back home for the weekend. Like, here's the problem, right? That should be a
The
baseline
standard.
as what they did. They didn't do anything crazy. They just had a team, and some of it is this. That was their game, right? That was the TNT game. So they're able to focus and dial in on that game. And ESPN, because of all the TV deals and how thin they're stretched, they don't get to do that. And it's unfortunate because that's what the experience should be like. You should be able to watch a pregame show and learn about the game that you're about to watch. You should be able to watch a postgame show and get reaction to the game you just watched. Not, we're rushing you in, we're rushing you out. Like, that should be the standard.
If you even get to watch the beginning, because of other games overlapping, and maybe you have to go tune in on your mobile device to watch the beginning of the game until they switch over the broadcast. Like,
but it was a great broadcast. I loved it. Even at the Holy Grail, like, they had the audio on. You could follow along. It was concise. They weren't talking about, just random nothingness that it didn't involve the game at all. The conversations were game and Big 12 centric. It was a great broadcast. My level of ire is in that's what they should be. This is how it should sound. This is how it should look. That should not be the exception to the rule. That annoys me, angers me.
But it makes you feel good, though, about the relationship with the Big 12 and TNT.
Absolutely.
And hoping that you see more of this marriage blossom and bloom, because it seems that they have your best interest as a fan in mind as they put this whole damn thing together.
For sure.
But as far as memorable broadcast, I mean, that was top 3, like, good put together broadcasts. As far as memorable, I mean, I think of the game at Bowling Green for basketball, the game at Howard for basketball, that
Mouse in the
one
house,
that one MTE that we went to, what was it, the Cayman Islands? That was just
Cayman Islands. No, was that Daytona? It was at North
like
Florida State. It was essentially Destin, I think.
Like the first year with Brannon, where like it was just
that was Cayman Islands.
Quality, like horrible, like
I think that was Cayman Islands or Virgin Islands. One of the two.
Unbelievably bad. Those are more memorable in different ways.
Fair.
But either way, that was fun. Good job, TNT. Hopefully we get another one of those. I did enjoy it.
It was really good. I enjoyed it. I like Golick. I think he does a really good job.
He does.
Aaron was trying to get him on with us tonight. Did he big time you? Never got back to you?
He big timed me. Yeah, I'm sure he was. He probably doesn't check those. You have a message from somebody you don't know in your DMs on Twitter. That can be a dangerous place.
He used to like.
I don't have it anymore.
He used to be like heavy on the. I think I conversated with him a while ago about something.
He did like my tweets.
I mean, that was back in 2021 though, when like everyone was going to talk to Bearcat people about Bearcat stuff. So
yeah,
maybe we
start
coming back into that era. That'd be great. But yeah, Big Slime. That's right. That was Flow Hoops, and boy, was it flow more like poo hoops.
Floating horrible.
Like flowing poo horrible poops. Flow poops.
All right, Brent, that's the mailbag. Get us out of here.
He had big game this weekend. Number 14.
I did.
Iowa State. Yep.
I was gonna just today.
Yes.
Is part of what makes winning so much fun. Mm-hmm. Like there was just a machine gun of tweets from offensive player of the week in Sorsby and special teams player of the week in Rusnick and the Peyton Manning thing, the Johnny Unitas thing with
offensive line of the week.
Offensive line of the week. And man, I've missed that.
Yes.
Where on Monday it was just like bang, 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 content.
Yep.
I missed that.
And also,
winning is fun.
The more PFF and sure, you can either hate PFF, like PFF, have any ways you want to feel about PFF. But when PFF started pumping Sauce Gardner, when PFF started pumping Dante Corleone as a true freshman, now they're pumping Brendan Sorsby. It does help bring more eyes to him, and it can only help. So who knows? Maybe it's the beginning of the legend. So let's see. But a huge game this weekend. Obviously, we'll have everything you need leading up to that. Iowa State, formidable foe. It's going to be a thriller. 12 noon kickoff in Nippert Stadium. Make sure you get there. Be loud. Be proud. So, but yeah, this was a great one, guys. So, shouts to Danco Transmission and Auto Care. Shouts to Quick Paper Supply. Shouts to Gregory Hooden. Shouts to Costala. Shouts to Ryan Royer. Shouts to Aaron Smith.
No shouts to Zach Taylor and the Bengals.
No, not at all. Not at all. But, guys, this is a great one. So for the crew, for the squad, for my pals, for Aaron Smith, for Chad Brendel, for Ryan Royer, I am Brent Young. Yet again, another fantastic BBP presented by BearcatJournal.com.
See